Look at this. What is Whoopi Goldberg talking about? What is she? These people are allergic to accountability. Watch this. What? Watch this. And then after, just watch this.
I respect it as a parent. I understand why he would do it.
Yeah.
But I wonder to understand why lie about it for so long.
I'd stop calling it a lie.
Okay, why?
What? This is literally Joe Biden.
With regard to the question regarding the family, I'm extremely proud of my son, Hunter. He has overcome an addiction. He's one of the brightest, most decent men I know. And I am satisfied that I'm not going to do anything. I said I abide by the jury decision, and I will do that, and I will not pardon him.
All right, so now let's look at the rest of this clip after Whoopi Goldberg says, let's stop calling a lie a lie. Like she's not living in reality at all. Crazy.
Repeatedly say you're not going to, and you do. And secondarily, for the part of this country, half of it that doesn't support Biden, doesn't know him personally, doesn't get to have phone calls, and they're just looking at a system that seems like it only benefits the people who are in power.
I'm going to say,
what precedent does that set?
Well, here's what it says. It's a precedent for all of us to open our eyes because we've elected someone who is in a similar situation, who didn't have a drug problem, who knew what he was doing, who clearly stood and said, I can do this. And he did it.
What are you talking about?
So I think, for many, many reasons, this is very different than any other situation.
So she's trying to find excuses for Biden literally lying to the American people multiple times. That's crazy. It's really crazy. Let's stop calling it a lie. Well, what are we supposed to call it? The man said, I will not pardon my son. And then he pardoned his son. That is quite literally a lie. And this is, look at Whoopi Goldberg trying to manipulate reality. Like we have the video proof, but she can't, you know what? We need to take some accountability. He did lie. He shouldn't have lied. And he shouldn't have told the American people that he wasn't going to do that. The reality was Joe Biden was saying that, betting that nothing was going to happen to Hunter. Then when things actually happened, he's got to lie and go back on his word. I've said this before. I will say it again. If he lied to you about this, and remember, he also told you and I that he was not dropping out of the race. If he lied to us about those two things, what else has he lied about and looked you and I dead in the eye and lied about? And the fact that Whoopi Goldberg is trying to cover for that and act as if he didn't lie is crazy. She's delusional. The woman is not living in reality. I don't know how this show survives, but I don't know how she's not embarrassed for herself. Like she's literally destroying any type of credibility she ever had and her reputation now. She's destroyed it way before that, but she's just adding fuel to the fire. It really doesn't make sense to me. It's absolutely wild. Now let's listen to Karine Jean-Pierre today when asked about this. So here's the audio of Karine Jean-Pierre being asked about the lies that she told to the American people multiple times. Listen to this.
You have said repeatedly yourself since the election, the president has said for months, no pardon was coming. I wanted to ask you, could those statements now be seen as lies from the American people? Is there really a credibility issue here given now this announcement?
First of all, one of the things that the president always believes is to be truthful to the American people. That is something.
The audacity to gaslight us. She said he believes in being truthful, yet he's just been caught in a lie. He said, I will not pardon my son. And then he goes on to pardon his son. And her first response is this.
One of the things that the president always believes is to be truthful to the American people. That is something that he always truly believes.
There's no way you take these people seriously. There's no way you take these people seriously. There's no way. You can't. Like.
And if you see the end of his, I assume that you've read.
She's doing all this yapping. The man lied, but I'm gonna let her continue to yap and not answer the question really.
His statement, and you look at the end of that statement, and he actually says that in the first line in the last paragraph, and respects the thinking and how the American people will actually see this in his decision making. And I would.
Yeah, the American people see it as a lie. Many people that hate the right and hate Trump will, gloss over it and then, look over it and act like it didn't really happen because, they don't have the ability to look in the mirror But the people who don't have Trump derangement syndrome and don't hate the right see it for what it is. The man flat out lied, and then he's getting his son, which committed multiple felonies, out of the punishment that would come from him committing multiple felonies.
Would encourage everyone to read in full the president's statement. I think he lays out his thought process. He lays out how he came to this decision. He came to this decision this weekend. So let's be very clear about
So
that.
what?
He says it himself. It's in his voice. He said
Doesn't
he
matter.
came to this decision this weekend. And he said he wrestled with this. And because he believes in the justice system, but he also believes that the war politics infected the process and led to a miscarriage of justice.
Oh, so how was it a miscarriage of justice when his son hasn't even been sentenced yet? He was supposed to get sentenced this month. So how do we know it was a miscarriage of justice? Like, again, we don't know that because we don't know what he got sentenced. These people are an absolute joke. Joe Biden is a liar. He's a hypocrite. His press secretary is a liar. Not to mention, Joe Biden pardoned his son from January of 2014. The crimes he committed are in 2018 for the gun charges, in 2016 through 2019 for the tax evasion, where he owed $1.4 million in taxes. Ask yourself again, what was he doing to owe $1.4 million in taxes in a 3-year period? Burisma? I mean, it's crazy when you think about it. It's truly crazy when you think about it. So Joe Biden is pardoning his son for a decade of time, basically 10 to 11 years, when the reality is his crimes were committed from 2016 to 2019. So why are you adding those extra 4 to 5 to 6 years in there? Super interesting to think about. Really interesting to think about. Again, these people are not they're not on the moral high horse they pretend to be on. The reality is Joe Biden is likely covering himself and covering his son, even though his son has committed multiple felonies, and they didn't have to change the law to make his son a felon. That's another thing. They talk about treating the justice system well and the justice system doing well. This is the same man that watched his party politically hunt Donald Trump and did nothing about it. Acted like that's just the justice system working. He was, tried by a group of his peers and convicted. Same thing with Hunter. And they didn't have to go back and change the statute of limitations. They didn't have to go back and what's the best way to put this? Jimmy rig stuff to get felonies. No, he committed the felonies himself. No one made him do that. No one made him do it. And the lack of accountability is blaring. And the lack of self-reflection from the Democrats who support this is absolutely blaring. They are continuing to damage our reputation with the American people. Anyway, I could go on for another hour about this. It's wild when you really think about it. It's not even so much the fact that he did it, which in and of itself is a problem, but the fact that they want to gaslight and lie as if he didn't he didn't lie. Or act like they're morally superior. Like, at least if he owned it and was like, yeah, I'm pardoning him. If it's right or wrong, I'm doing it. I could at least respect that. But to act like you have a good reason to do it when you don't is manipulative. But I mean, he's been manipulative this whole time. So all I got for this video. I will see y'all in the next one. Y'all have a wonderful night. Like, share, and subscribe. Peace.